Good afternoon and welcome to Freeport Community Park for today's section matchup between the home Freeport Yellow Jackets and the Knoch Knights. Not a section matchup, Josh.
Not a section matchup. It's an exhibition. They were formerly section rivals, but Freeport dropped down from the 4A classification this year to the 3A classification, but still a big rivalry game, even though it is a non-section exhibition matchup here. Knoch coming in at 5-1, obviously a good team, good program. Freeport and Knoch battled all the way down to the wire last year for a section title, which Knoch ultimately won with a 6-5, 11-inning victory over Freeport here at Community Park late in the season. So these teams are very, very familiar with one another, and I think we're going to see a spirited matchup.
Well, we definitely had a chance to talk to Freeport head coach Ed Carr last evening. And he mentioned that this was a big game for his team. It was a big matchup, a test of sorts to see where this young team of his is. And as we talked last night, he mentioned a great deal of juniors that are contributing to this team. No more important than Jarrett Heilman, who has been just lights out this year, Josh. I believe 22 in a third inning, 37 strikeouts, and only 2 walks. And that's the one thing that Ed Carr was very, very adamant about mentioning was the number of walks that he's had. A very small number for somebody with those kind of strikeout numbers. So we won't see Heilman today. That's what Coach alluded to. You never want to say never, but it seems as though that won't be the case today. It's going to be pitching by committee, as he mentioned you just a couple moments ago, Josh. And, it's going to be a test. With that in mind, not having your ace pitcher out there and being a young group, mostly made up of juniors, but a lot of sophomores as well. A couple of seniors sprinkled in there, but the roster really built out of guys that aren't playing in their last year in a Yellow Jackets uniform, Josh.
Yeah, I think Coach Carr told us before the season, I believe they have 13 juniors of their 17 varsity players, I believe, is the percentage breakdown. So that junior class obviously making up a bulk of the Freeport lineup. We did not get the lineup cards because they were not submitted before the game. They just exchanged the lineup cards at home plate, so we're not sure who will be on the bump for the Yellow Jackets, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Braden Clark. He's kind of been the number 2 this year for Coach Carr behind Heilman. And as you mentioned, Joe Heilman just off to a tremendous start this year in 2019. I got a chance to watch him on Monday. Last week we broadcast his start against Burrell, and he has just been lights out. Microscopic ERA right now, 0.313, I believe you told me prior to the game.
Yes.
So, I mean, obviously pitching important to this team. Heilman, the ace, but Braden Clark has come in 2 of the games that Heilman started. I looked like Matt Mitchell out there on the mound.
It's number 21, and again, we are awaiting the submission of the rosters here as we follow Game Changer. But what I will say, Josh, pitching as a whole for this team, we mentioned that is indeed Matt Mitchell, who will be on the bump today for the Yellow Jackets, but as a whole, this pitching staff has performed well, Josh. A 3.01 ERA as a team. I mentioned it in a story I put in today's Leader Time, so make sure you check that out. The pitching staff as a whole has performed well. It's not just a matter of Heilman's excellent numbers, but what everybody else has been able to contribute in those other innings that Heilman hasn't been on the bump. So it'll be interesting to see what they do without Heilman on the mound, but you can say so far, based on the numbers, that there are guys that are equipped to perform in these type environments, Josh.
Yeah, another thing Coach Carr told us prior to the season was that he was looking to see which guys would distinguish themselves and who was going to eat up those innings. I mean, Sean Furlong last year, first team All-Leader Times pitcher, he was their horse last season. So Coach Carr knew coming into the season that, he would have to replace those innings. So today we have Matt Mitchell on the hill, Joe, making his second start of the season.
Tell us a little bit about Mitchell so far in the bump so we can be more familiarized with what we can expect today, Josh.
Well, today's his 4th appearance, Joe. All told, he has 7.1 innings pitched with 1 start. That came on Thursday, March 28th, against Hampton, a game in which Freeport pulled out a dramatic victory late over the Talbots. But back to Mitchell here. He's got 5.7 ERA, couple of strikeouts in those 7.1 innings pitched, a couple of walks, given up 6 earned runs, seven runs total. So interesting. I mean, second start of the season. I'm sure that Mitchell, who normally plays first base for the Yellow Jackets, is fired up, ready to get the game going here, Joe.
Actually, I believe Mitchell played third the last game we were here, if not correct. He's listed as a first baseman. I swear.
Yeah, I mean, these guys play everywhere, Joe.
And the first batter of the game, Mitchell will face. Now, again, we're still awaiting the updated roster. Here's a ground ball first pitch to the second baseman. Throw on to first, and one out, just like that. So one pitch, one out for the Yellow Jackets here in the top of the first inning. So not a bad start for Mitchell, a guy that, as we mentioned, maybe not the ace of the team, but I'm sure Ed Carr wants to see guys be efficient and follow the lead of somebody like a Jarrett Heilman as far as efficiency is concerned, Josh.
Yeah, well, you can't get much more efficient than that right there, Joe. One pitch, one out.
And the second batter of the game, Mitchell winds up and the pitch, and he hits the batter. So just like that, one pitch, one out, one pitch in the next at bat, and there is a runner on first base due to the hit by pitch. So one on, one out here in the top of the first inning for the Freeport Yellow Jackets, who are on defense, obviously playing on their home field here at Community Park. This will be McGill at the plate for Knoch. There's Mitchell with the pitch. Low, ball one. So, the one thing I think that is the identifier for the Freeport Yellow Jackets this year is their youth. From talking to Ed Carr last evening, Josh, it seems as though he was really seeing his team as playing above what their age indicates, and everybody kind of contributing. Here's a ball between shortstop and third. That'll scoot through. Runner stops at second, so a runner on first and second here with just one out. So not a lot of pitches thrown so far, Josh, but Knoch able to find two runners on here with just one out.
Yeah, the hit by the pitch, and McGill with the single right there. So Knoch in business.
So the fourth batter of the top of the first inning will be Sutton for Knoch. Sutton stands in, a right-handed swinging batter. So two runners on, just one out here in the top of the first inning. Batter steps out. Mitchell will step off. So two on, one out here in the top of the first inning. First pitch, strike one for Matt Mitchell. And Mitchell had a great defensive game, Josh, when we were here last time. He had that great stop and throw. Defense is a big thing for this team, too, I think. They're going to aid this young staff and young offense throughout this season. So I think this is a big test for the team. Mitchell with the second pitch. Ball outside. Runs the count to 1-1. But, we talked about this with Freeport head coach Ed Carr, that they're young and they're going to find every way to aid themselves by being efficient, by being clever, and using some of their strengths to sort of counter some of their weaknesses. Here's a ball fouled off. So run the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Coach Carr mentioned the philosophy. Pitching, defense, speed. He alluded to the fact not a lot of big boppers on this team. Matt Charlton, obviously the power hitter last season, gone. Not a lot of power, home run numbers and stuff. But pitching, speed, defense, he said his team has good baseball IQ.
Here's the pitch. It's popped up to second base, and that's pulled in by this Austin Kepis. Yeah, Josh.
Yeah, I was going to say Austin Kepis, just nice little back pedal under it. Makes the routine play there.
And that's a nice pitch by Mitchell, kind of jamming the batter. He's swinging there, and a little bloop there to Kepis at second base. So now 2 outs here in the top of the first inning for Matt Mitchell and the Freeport Yellow Jackets. So 2 runners on, 2 outs, and Bartek at the plate for Knoch. First pitch inside, ball 1. You don't want to keep just driving the point home about this team's youth. This is Jack Bartik at the plate, for Knoch. But you don't want to keep driving home the point that this is a young team, but certainly their youth and the number of juniors on this team is certainly a storyline. Second pitch here fouled off.
Yeah, and Mitchell, another one of those juniors. Coach Carr described him as crafty after the Hampton win. He kept Talbot's team with a couple of Division I players on their roster off balance for the majority of his 4 innings.
And the pitch for Mitchell, ball low. That'll run the count to Josh, if you help me out here. 2 balls, 1 strike. And yeah, and Coach did mention him as being kind of crafty, and I think that windup is something that kind of can be deceptive for the batter that's facing him at any given point. Kind of an interesting release. This ball is popped up deep out here to center field where we're at. The left fielder will come under it. Excuse me. Yeah, the left fielder, number 17, Stewart, and that will end the first inning. So after 1 or a half inning, it's Freeport nothing, Knoch nothing. For Josh Schreckengoss, my name is Joe Rhodes, Sample Sports Stream. We will be right back. Back to Freeport Community Park for the bottom of the first inning here. Leading off for the Freeport Yellow Jackets is Zachary Allen. First pitch, strike 1. And that's one of the many juniors on the, or excuse me, Joseph Atalski. Our apologies here. We're looking off of Game Changer. This is Atalski. Second pitch, line down the line. That'll go for a hit. He's going to round first and cruise into second base easily. Throw will come in, so that'll keep him at second base. Is Joseph Atalski for the leadoff double.
Yeah, you know what? We didn't even get to introduce the Knoch starting pitcher. That's Travis Mowry out there, left-handed senior for the Knights. Just a couple of pitches in, Atalski turned on that inside fastball, ripped it down the left field line for a double.
So a nice start for the Freeport offense, and up comes Austin Kepis for the Yellow Jackets. So no one out and a runner on second. So a great spot for Kepis here with a runner in scoring position and no outs. And the pitch from the lefty. Here's a bunt. He's playing that small ball. Great play. Throw on to first. Move the runner to third. And 1 out, but that is a great sacrifice there, Josh. And Ed Carr, a tactician when it comes to how he manages his team, and he's going to find ways to score runs, even if it is playing a little bit of small ball like you just saw there.
Yeah, we saw him call a delayed steal against Burrell last week that worked to perfection and got Freeport a run. He called it with 2 outs, which is gutsy. So Ed Carr doing everything in his managerial power to help his team create runs.
And the first pitch is a ball for Matt Mitchell, the pitcher. Now taking his cuts at the plate for Freeport. The second pitch, low for a ball.
Yeah, Mitchell looking to help himself. Big spot.
You got to love in high school baseball because it's not quite like MLB. where pitchers can't bat. You see a lot of some of the best players, some of the pitchers batting in the heart of a lineup, and that's the case today with Mitchell batting third. And the pitch, he's going to line this up the middle, stopped by the shortstop throw on the first, but the run will score, so Mitchell will give him the RBI on the ground out, and that will give Freeport a 1-0 lead. That is fundamental baseball there, Josh. That is what you would like to see if you're Ed Carr, playing that fundamental baseball. If you're going to bunt that runner over like you did a moment ago and have Mitchell up at the dish, you hope he's going to be able to manufacture a run.
You know what? And I'm sure Coach Carr mentioned to Mitchell, do not hit a ground ball to the left side. Don't try and turn anything over, because that's the one thing that can keep that base runner stuck at third base. Mitchell perfectly hard ground ball up the middle, run scores easily.
Now we have Zachary Allen at the dish for Freeport here, but 2 outs, no one on. Already a run in. He's going to take the first pitch, foul this off behind the opposing team dugout down the first baseline.
Yeah, Allen a little behind that fastball, kind of upstairs by Mallory right there. Boy, Mallory couldn't turn that curveball over. That thing just hung up there and was about right at eye level for Allen. Was not tempted.
It's just one hit here in the first inning. That's the run that has come across the score. And the pitch, ball outside. Looking for the count. It'll be 2-2 on Zachary Allen. He'll step back in. Pitch, and that's a lunging swing, and that will go drop in between the center fielder and the right fielder, and Allen will easily get to first. Interesting swing there, Josh. It was definitely a reaching pitch for the right-handed swinging Allen, but able to line that ball between the center fielder and the right fielder, as we mentioned a moment ago.
I've had several coaches throughout my lifetime tell me, 2 strikes, you have to protect the plate. Obviously, that's fundamental baseball, but also throw your hands at the ball. The bat will follow, and that's exactly what Zachary Allen did right there. Threw his hands at that ball, kind of out over the plate, dropped it into right field for a single, 2-out single.
Before throwing a pitch to Jared Heilman, Mallory throws the ball to first in an attempt to pick off Allen. Now it's Jared Heilman, who we spoke of in the pregame. Here, the left-handed swinging. He's going to pop this ball out. The catcher's going to have a look, and
nice
he
play.
pulls it down. So a great play by the catcher, Sutton, and that will end first inning action. So after 1 inning, it is Freeport 1, Knoch nothing for Josh Schreckengast. My name is Joe Rhodes, Sample Sports Stream. We will be right back. And welcome back to Freeport Community Park here on this lovely spring day, April 10th, 2019. The game features 2 former section rivals, as of last year, as Josh brought up in our pregame talks, but now just sort of rivals playing this non-section game. I'm sure it's one that even though they're not section rivals anymore, Josh, that Freeport would love to have.
Yeah, Coach Carr described it on Monday after Heilman's shutout, a 4-0 shutout of Valley. He described it as a rivalry game, and he said, these guys want to come in here and beat us, and we take pride in protecting this field. And already off to a good start. Yellow Jackets get one on the board in the bottom of the first.
Second pitch, there'll be 2 balls there against the Yellow Jackets. And it's Tristani at the dish for Knoch.
Braden Tristani up for the Knights.
Third pitch of the at-bat coming. Ball's going to be fouled off of Tristani's leg. So
Yeah.
Mitchell doing a good job of placing his pitches, I think, here. And that's the thing. He mentioned that when Mitchell pitched against Hampton, a school much larger than Freeport, he was very crafty, and I can see what he meant now watching him today, really placing his pitches and throwing his pitches where he wants to so far, it seems, Josh.
You know what? The difference between Heilman's velocity and Mitchell's velocity is evident, but you know what? As you just mentioned, Mitchell spotting his pitches, it seems like, from our vantage point out here in center field, it looks as if his pitches are moving, late break, so he's keeping Knoch off balance as well.
Pitch low and outside for a ball. That'll run the count to 2-2. It's always fun to come out here and watch somebody like a Matt Mitchell that we don't get to see too often because of Heilman being the ace. And count 3-2, excuse me. Here's the payoff pitch, fouled off.
Ooh, barely got a piece of that.
Full count, and great job by Mitchell there to throw a pitch that's kind of deceptive enough to make that batter lunge for it. Maybe some late break there, as you mentioned a moment ago, Josh, but it's great to see somebody like a Matt Mitchell who showed up certainly on the field, playing some great defense so far this year when you had a chance to watch him, and doing his part as a pitcher today. Ball 4 there will walk the batter, Tristani. So no outs here in the top of the second inning. A runner on, no outs. And that will bring to the plate the next batter that we will get to you momentarily in this 1-0 ball game in the top of the second inning. And that will be a pass ball, looks like. That or a wild pitch. I'm not sure what they'll score that, but ball gets past the catcher, and Tristani able to advance. The catcher will grab it. No throw to second, and now runner on second with no outs.
At the plate for Knoch right now, Guy DeLeonardis.
Guy DeLeonardis.
He's got a brother, Angelo, also on the team.
Beautiful names. Mitchell will step off. So Tristani and DeLeonardis, the 2 Knoch players on the field at the moment. Mitchell looks to second. And the pitch, called strike.
Just dropped that one right in there. I don't know if that was a slow slider or a curveball, but just, dropped it right in there. Found that outside corner for a strike. Nice pitch by Mitchell.
It was, and he has an interesting arm motion, Josh, and that's the one thing I've noticed about him here in the early going is maybe kind of deceptive release ball here and a strike as well. So again, that delivery of Mitchell kind of causing the Knoch batters to have to maybe second guess whether it's going to be a ball or strike.
Yeah, now DeLeonardis behind in the count. 1-2.
Runner on second here. Mitchell with the pitch. And reaching for it is DeLeonardis. Ball's out of play. First baseman has a look and unable to get it. So the count will remain 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Mitchell, one thing we talked about in the pregame is Heilman's ability to, Heilman, the ace of the staff, and what Ed Carr, head coach of Freeport, has talked about is his efficiency. And it almost seems like that efficiency is rubbing off on the other pitchers in the staff because Mitchell throwing very little balls right now and making guys have to that was leaned into, it looked like.
He's out. The umpire called him out. He intentionally leaned into that ball.
And that's a great call.
Yes, it is. DeLeonardis is out. And I'm going to tell you right now, the umpire is telling, the Knoch head coach that your player just intentionally leaned into a slow curve over the plate, And for that, the penalty is you go back and take a seat on the bench.
I'm not sure there's any doubt that he leaned into that.
Oh,
that
was
we watched a lot of high school baseball, Josh, and he certainly put his top half over top of the plate. So great call by the umpire. We got to give Blue some credit here, making sure that wasn't just another runner on base, but in fact an out.
Yeah,
so.
Knoch head coach Sean O'Donnell came down the line, and that explanation from the umpire behind the plate took all of about 6 seconds. And, O'Donnell walked right back to the coaching box.
So next batter is Roddy for Knoch. Count is 0-1 strike. Isaac Roddy. Swing and a miss, strike 2. So Mitchell, again, I think you'd be interested to stand in on a guy like this to see how deceptive his delivery is, but so far looking much the part as far as we have described him. There's 0-2 strikes, so what's he going to throw outside? Maybe a chase pitch for Mitchell. 2 outs here, runner on second. Tristani, a leadoff hitter in this inning, and he's still remaining on second for the Knoch Knights. Mitchell in the stretch, he'll look into the catcher, collect, and the pitch. Low and outside, a little breaking ball, missed its spot. That'll run the count 2-2.
Yeah, Tristani worked his way on with a walk to lead off the inning. Advanced to second on a passed ball.
Again, Mitchell doing an excellent job of not really putting any groove pitches. This ball is popped. It's in a weird spot off the shortstop's glove, and that's a tough play. Ball will get in quickly, so no runs will score, but the runner will advance. Roddy will advance to second, and Tristani will move to third. So kind of the ball, Hatalski, the shortstop there, ranging, and it's no man's land, Josh.
Oh, man, toughest play for a shortstop to make right there. A ball out over your head into shallow left field. You know your left fielder's coming in hard for that ball, too. And, I mean, it is no man's land. Hatalski did a great job. I thought he was going to come down with it. It looked like it was stuck right in the webbing and popped out. And Stewart out there and left took a wave at it to try and catch the deflection, but ball dropped in. Still, Knights unable to cross the plate. So for now, the Yellow Jackets clinging to that 1-0 lead.
And you can't fault Mitchell for the pitch. He kind of jammed him, and first pitch strike on Volts of Knoch.
Blaze Volts. That's.
Oh, I'm sorry, Josh.
I'm sorry. I just pulled his name up on the roster here. His name's Blaze Volts.
Blaze Volts.
And that is a tremendous name.
That might be our best name of the spring so far, Josh. Next pitch, driven out here deep to where we're at in center field, but number 10 will camp under it, and the ball will get in, thrown, tag, runner will tag, and he will get in safely for the score to nod this game up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, Mitchell got the fly ball out here into center to Evan McCray. McCray camped under it, just fired it back in, wanted to make sure that he kept Isaac Roddy at second base, get that second out. Keep the Knights at second base there. Don't allow Roddy to move up to third. Just a fundamental play to get the ball back in. You know, that's a long throw for any center fielder to make, especially at the high school level. So, Knoch able to tie the game.
Having some issues here with our scoreboard. I apologize for those out here watching. Trying to even the score up at 1 apiece after that ball drops in there for the Knoch Knights. And we're able to give you that now. At the plate is Sloan of Knoch, left-handed swinging batter. Ethan Sloan for Knoch.
Top of the order here for the Knights. Sloan led off. 0 for 1 so far.
And that's a tough play. You have to appreciate how much Mitchell has kind of just fought as the pitcher for Freeport. He's been battling, and some of these balls that are getting in there,
not hard hit
at all. So Mitchell doing a great job of kind of staying within himself, Josh, and letting his defense do some work behind him. Tough play there a moment ago. Braden Clark at shortstop, that ball dropping in there just over his head. No man's land, as we mentioned. This ball out of play, close to the backstop. The catcher unable to get it. It's Jared Heilman today. We talked about Jared Heilman in the pregame.
Back behind the dish today.
So what a very versatile player, Josh. No doubt about that. Jared Heilman pitching one day and leading the team with 37 strikeouts and 22 in a third inning, and today back catching those same pitches.
Yeah, how would you like that if you were Matt Mitchell having a pitcher call your game for you? I mean, seems like an advantage.
Here's the ball. It's going to be popped up to Braden Clark at short, and that will end, or excuse me, Joseph Vitalski, I apologize, at short. So after 1.5 innings, it is Freeport 1, Knoch 1 for Josh Schreckengost. My name is Joe Rhodes. Sample Sports Stream. We will be right back. Welcome back to the bottom of the second inning, First out already recorded by Josh. You were able to see it. I was not.
Yeah, Mowry started out.
There's a ground ball, too short. Throw on to first. 2 outs just like that, Josh. Recap us, please.
Yeah, excuse me. We got screens going everywhere here, folks.
Small operation, but solid amount of screens, Josh.
Yeah, well, I will tell you right now, Dominic Kern is at the plate for the Yellow Jackets. It's his first at-bat of the day. Matt Grove led off the inning. Mowry started him with a ball. Second pitch. Grove flew out to Guy DeLeonardis out here in left field, and Josh Turdell, as you just saw, folks, ground ball to shortstop, 6-3 put out. So 2 outs now. Dominic Kern at the plate.
Dominic Kern facing a strike in his first pitch, so no balls, 1 strike. Second pitch coming. Swing and a miss. So 2 strikes. A quick inning here.
Talk about efficiency. Mowry is very efficient so far in this inning.
We hardly had a chance to get through our commercial break there, Josh.
Well, the warm-ups went rather quickly. Normally your warm-ups are going to be a couple of minutes between innings, maybe a minute 45, and that seemed like about a minute.
Moving along quickly here at Freeport Community Park today. And there's a ball, so that'll run the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Why not? Everyone's anxious for baseball, so.
Kern. Get the next pitch. This ball will be lined to the pitcher. He's going to throw on to first and out. So just like that, Freeport down in order, 1, 2, 3. So after 2 innings, it is Freeport 1, Knoch 1 for Josh Schreckengost. My name is Joe Rhodes. Sample Sports Stream. Check us out online at samplesports.com, and make sure you guys also check out the Leader Times, which we both write for. I hope you guys are paying attention to some of these great articles that we're putting together for these local athletes, coaches, and communities that have become rather near and dear to us, Josh. And
Oh, yeah.
make sure you're checking out the Leader Times as well for the latest action in Armstrong County sports. So after 2 innings, it is Freeport 1 and Knoch 1. And welcome back to Freeport Community Park for third inning action between the Knoch Knights and the home of Freeport Yellow Jackets. First pitch by the Yellow Jackets.
Matt Mitchell.
Matt Mitchell. And it's a ball outside, ball low and outside. Mitchell doing a great job of being efficient. We talked about that early on, Josh, and I think that might be their calling card as far as what they're able to do on the mound. Here's a ground ball to short. Hatalski bobbled, and that will be a runner on first now, Josh.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit before we came on the air about the infield, about the outfield, the natural surface as compared to the turf infield, which a lot of these teams play on nowadays. I mean, you get those true hops off the turf infield. Right there you saw what a hard hit ball on the ground on a natural surface can do. Hatalski took that one right off the shin. It looked like kneecap maybe. You know, you got to score it in air, but that's a tough hop.
This is McGill showing ball. Here's a steal attempt, and that he'll get in safely with ease. Is Love of the Knoch Knights. So no outs, and now a runner on second base.
Yeah, McGill had that seeing eye single between third and short in his first at bat in the first inning. Here, got a runner in scoring position right now for Knoch.
So Mitchell will look in. Runner on second, no outs. Here in the top of the third, pitch. Ball be skied high, very high pitch to the second baseman, Kepis, and he will pull it in. So 1 out. That's a nice out for the Yellow Jackets there. Runner unable to advance because of the depth of the hit. Rather, the out, I guess you could say, Josh. And now just a runner on second base. And 1 out. So 1 ball, no strike count on Sutton of the Knoch Knights. Here's the pitch. This ball will be popped up foul behind the backstop. That will even the count to 1-1.
Yeah, Sutton 0 for 1 here. Mitchell trying to keep Isaac Love at second base and Knoch off the scoreboard here in the bottom or the top of the third, excuse me.
Pitch from Mitchell. Ball will be lined to the right fielder. The first baseman, he's unable to catch it. That was like shallow right. First baseman unable to come up with it. The ball will get in quickly, but now a runner on first and third with just 1 out here, Josh.
Yeah, I think that was Kepis, actually, the second baseman going back on that ball. Tried the little short pop fly into right field there, the diving attempt, kind of a sliding attempt, actually. The ball ricocheted off him. Allows Love to, Love couldn't go anywhere because of the short pop fly, but allows him to advance. Sutton on first base now, Knoch in business.
So another one of those tough plays, kind of to no man's land again, Josh, just like that play early on to the shortstop Hatalski. And just like that, 1 out and runners on the corners for Knoch.
Yeah, and Knoch not being able to really square up anything Mitchell is throwing. They're not making solid contact off him. He's getting a lot of pop-ups. Just a couple of them perfectly placed.
Here's the pitch, ball outside. Runner going. And the double still, and the runner will score for Knoch there on that double still. Kind of a delayed still, Josh, it looked like.
Yeah, and Kepis did not field the throw cleanly from catcher Jarrett Howman. I mean, Kepis cut in front of the bag like you're supposed to do on that play when the runner breaks from third base, but the ball just hit him in a weird part of the glove, maybe on the pinky, something on the outside there, and the ball dropped, and that allowed Isaac Love enough time to get down the third baseline and score the go-ahead run.
So we will work to change that score for you here. It is now 2-1 Knoch. Pitch, ball, or called strike, excuse me.
Knoch has a pinch runner out there at second base. It's Caleb, and sorry Caleb and his family as I mispronounced this name. It's Traggiai. Tragia. I just feel terrible. I have a tough last name to pronounce as well, so don't want to mispronounce Caleb's name. So he is in the game to pinch run, though, for Knoch, in scoring position right now.
Maybe a courtesy runner, I suppose, but nonetheless.
Yeah, they'll double the re-entry role in high school, I'm sure, is why Caleb is at second base right now. Bartek at the plate, Joe.
Mitchell with the pitch outside for a ball, so the count will go to 2-2 on Bartek. Pitch, strike 3 looking, so the backwards K there. Great job by Mitchell to place that pitch.
Yeah, and Jack Bartek frozen right there. He was definitely looking for something else, maybe something more out over the plate. That kind of a backdoor curveball. Again, that late break just dropping it in there. Mitchell working those corners, as you can tell, with the off-speed stuff.
So now 2 outs for Freeport, and this is Tristani again. We saw in the first inning he was able to produce a run, I believe, Josh, for...
He was indeed, Joe.
The Knoch Knights. He came around to score.
Braden Tristani scored the first run for the Knights this afternoon.
Which will look in, and the pitch. Swinging to the shortstop, diving stop, unable to corral it, and that'll keep runners. Luckily that didn't get through. It's a tough play for Hatulski.
Yeah,
but
he's had some action this inning.
He certainly has.
You got that hard ground ball, that started, and whoever is scoring the game for Freeport is scoring it rough in there. He's got them down. He's got the Yellow Jackets down for 3 errors in this inning. I'm not sure I agree with all 3, but they're scoring that an error on Hatulski as well.
So that'll bring Josh, as you so eloquently described him as, here's a ground ball to third, throw on to first, stretch and out.
Yeah, Guy D. Leonardis, chopper down the line right there. We got a nice play across the diamond from Zach Allen. Fires Dominic Kern able to hang at first base to get the Yellow Jackets out of the inning without any more damage being suffered, but Knoch able to take the lead, Joe.
That's a great assessment there, Josh. So after 2.5 innings, it is Knoch 2, Freeport 1 for Josh Schreckengast. My wonderful, awesome, every possible superlative, Josh, I could name you as. My color guy and myself, Joe Rhodes, for Sample Sports Stream and, of course, the Leader Times. We will be right back. And welcome back to Freeport Community Park for a rivalry game between what were former section teams now facing each other in a non-conference matchup. The Freeport Yellow Jackets and the
Colton
Knoch
Stewart
Knights.
get a little piece.
Colton Stewart rip 1, 2, 3, 4 hop off the fence, ball on quickly, and that's a leadoff double for Stewart, as Josh just mentioned. So a nice little play to get back after sacrificing a run in the half inning prior.
Yeah, some opposite field power by Colton Stewart right there, reaching out and ripping that fastball by Mowry out over the plate, gets it over the head of right fielder Braden Tristani. Freeport in business early, leadoff double.
So standing in now for the Knoch Knights is Sutton, for Freeport is Joseph Hatalski. I apologize.
Yeah, Game Changer slow to load, when the batters come up.
Love Game Changer, though. Shout out to the folks at Game Changer.
Yeah,
for
a tremendous app that allows you to follow along live, especially when we're over 400 feet away right here in center field. Tough for us to see numbers. So
Hatalski sees the pitch. Another ball line to right field. Oh, off the glove of Tristani. That will score run. The windmill on from Ed Carr at third base. So that will tie things up at 2 apiece here in the bottom of the third.
Bottom of the third, 2-2 now. Freeport, couple of shots right at Tristani. And, I mean, the first one, Colton Stewart just ripped over his head. That ball by Hatalski, more of a line drive. I think he kind of came in on it, realized that ball was going over his head. Did the jumping attempt, ball off of his glove. Hatalski now at second base.
So Hatalski at second here, swing and a miss on the first pitch to Austin Kepis. But Josh, kind of a misplayed ball there by Tristani in right field. Kind of lunged for it. He came in maybe a little too much, and ball glancing off his glove and allowing.
That's the game of baseball right there for you, Joe.
There's a bunt again, so Freeport using that small ball thrown to first. And they're going to call him out is Austin Kepis. But a great move there.
Ooh, Isaac Love, the second baseman, over to cover right there as Bartek, the first baseman, was charging in. And the throw from Mowry to Love. Love able to get that foot back down to get the out, but the sacrifice bunt moves the possible go-ahead, and Hatalski to third base, Joe.
Second time in 3 innings we've seen Freeport deploy that sacrifice bunt to move a runner over, now just 1 out. Great job by Ed Carr to play very strategic baseball here. Manufacturing runs, that's the key of the game when it comes to high school baseball here, Josh, and Freeport doing that well so far. If they can maybe knock the runner in here with Matt Mitchell at the plate.
Well, Matt Mitchell, kind of the guy you want up there. He was in this situation in his first at-bat. Runner at third base, only 1 out when he came up prior. Able to get a ground ball up the middle to score a run for Freeport. Right now, 2 outs. Mitchell at the dish with a runner on third again.
You got to love pitchers being at the plate in situations like this, Josh. As we mentioned, when he was at the dish earlier in the game, he was able to help himself, and hopefully he can do it again. Here's a ball line foul over the opposing Knoch dugout for a strike.
Yeah, Mowry trying to come inside right there on Mitchell. Mitchell able to fight that one off, pop it out of play over the Knoch dugout.
Let me quickly say, Josh, what a beautiful day here. A little less windy than the last time we were here. Here's another foul ball off to the right side for another strike. But a gorgeous day here. It's still April. We know we're not going to get those 75 and sunny and those kind of days you're used to in baseball season. But all things considered here for April 10th, a gorgeous day here at Community Park. Ball lined hard, foul, just barely down the left field line there, Josh.
I'm going to tell you, I don't think that Sutton behind the plate wanted that pitch from Mowry in that location. He was lined up all the way outside the plate in the left-handed batter's box, basically.
Pitch outside here to Mitchell for a ball.
And that, breaking pitch by Mowry broke right back over the plate. Mitchell turned on it down the third base line hard, but just a shade early.
So 3-2 count, full count, line deep down the right field line. Camping under is Tristani. He'll throw it in. He catches it. That will score the Freeport run And that will give them now a 3-2 lead.
Excuse me, I said there were 2 outs earlier. I was incorrect there, but Mitchell able to help himself yet again. A runner on third base with 1 out and able to use his bat, sacrifice, ground ball up the middle to get a run home. His first at bat, now a sac fly to right.
And I have to give credit to Ed Carr here. Playing high school baseball, it's not traditional baseball. You have to manufacture runs. And playing that small ball, bunting a guy over to third, giving a guy a chance to have a sacrifice fly like you just saw, that just gave Freeport the lead once again. So credit to the Freeport coaching staff and head coach Ed Carr for maneuvering runners and finding ways to score runs here.
Yeah, that's why Ed Carr stands in the coach's box and I sit out here, because he knows how many outs there are on the field and therefore adjusts his strategy accordingly. And as you said, manufactured another run. Freeport takes the lead, retakes the lead.
So 1 ball, no strikes to Zachary Allen. The pitch there, that'll make it 2 balls, no strikes. 3 balls, no strikes to Zachary Allen. So no runners on. And 2 outs. Ball called strike. Looked low, but it will indeed go for a strike. And again, not to beat a dead horse here, but there's a walk on the 5th pitch of the at-bat to Jarrett Heilman. Put him on first.
Zach Allen at the plate.
Zach Allen. I apologize.
Heilman coming up right now.
But, great job of manufacturing runs. Great job of, capitalizing on those opportunities, Josh.
Yeah, I love it. As you said, it's not the major leagues. You don't let a guy stand on second base with nobody out. You use the outs you have at your disposal to get that guy home. And that's exactly what Freeport did. That's exactly what Ed Carr has managed a couple different times so far in this game for the Yellow Jackets. Main reason they have the lead right now.
So first pitch to Heilman, swinging strike, so no balls, 1 strike. And the pitch. Ball low, so even the count. Here's a steal and out by a mile. So that will end the inning and the Freeport threat. But they will retake the lead in this 3rd inning. So after 3 innings, it is Freeport 3, Knoch 2. For Josh Reckengoss, my name is Joe Rhodes, Sample Sports Stream and the Leader Times. We will be right back. Welcome back to Freeport Community Park. First pitch of the top of the 4th inning by Isaac Roddy, fouled out of play for strike 1. Matt Mitchell able to get ahead in the count here. in this fourth inning, Josh.
Yeah, Mitchell came into this inning with 51 pitches.
Strike
thrown.
two. Excuse me, Josh. Strike two called there. So getting ahead in the count. And that's something we talked about already numerous times. Getting ahead in those counts, being efficient. And already up. 0 balls, 2 strikes. Third pitch outside for ball 1. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. And how many pitches was Matt Mitchell at least before this inning, Josh?
He came into this inning with 51 pitches thrown, so a little bit more work than I'm sure. Well, maybe, I don't know. It seems about right. Ed Carr told me about 11 pitches an inning is what he looks for.
Strike 3 out, so a little bit of a foul tip there, but Heilman able to grab that ball for the strikeout. So Mitchell able to shut down the leadoff batter of the inning.
Yeah, Isaac Roddy going down swinging right there, coming to the plate. My new favorably named athlete that we've covered, Blaze Volts.
Blaze Volts indeed. First pitch to Volts. He's going to swing and foul this off weakly to the backstop near the Freeport dugout for strike 1.
Yeah, Blaze Volts with a sacrifice fly his first time up. Got a run in for
Great
the
name.
Knights.
Let's
It's
just
an
stop for a
amazing
second.
name.
Great name.
It's an amazing name. It sounds like a professional wrestler. And it's just a fantastic name.
Swing here to third base. Terrible hop. And that you can't blame Zachary Allen on that one. That was just a terrible hop, Josh. You saw that just as much as I did, and I hope you folks out there did too. Just a very difficult hop there, one you can't expect, and that will put a runner on first.
Yeah,
Blaze Volts.
You can't, Blaze Volts getting a break right there off the natural surface that we alluded to a couple innings ago here at Freeport Community Park. That ball just took a wicked hop right over Allen's head.
Now Sloan will step in with a runner on and 1 out for the Knoch Knights. The left-handed is swinging. That ball will skip away from Heilman, and that will allow the runner to advance, who was running in advance, to second.
Yeah, I think Jared Heilman, he saw Volts take off for second base and just tried to transfer that ball a little before he caught it. Ended up dropping it. Volts in with the stolen base. Ethan Sloan, leadoff batter for Knoch, top of the order for them.
Next pitch to Sloan, outside, so that'll run the count to 2 balls and no strikes to Sloan. So no outs here, and Knoch with a runner in scoring position already. Ball outside. Now 3-0 to Sloan. Josh?
Ethan Sloan, yeah. Probably taken all the way right here would be my guess.
You would think. That'd be the smart move.
3-0, I doubt you're giving him a green light here.
Very open stance by Sloan here. The pitch, ball 4, so 4 pitches and a walk. So I would say that's Matt Mitchell's most inefficient batter he's faced today, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Unable to get to avoid putting Sloan on base, but now there's a force at second. So if you're Freeport, you like that part of it, but you don't like putting a runner on, and that brings to the plate Isaac Love, I believe.
Yep, Isaac Love scored a run earlier. Chance for him with an at-bat here, runner in scoring position.
Pitch for Mitchell inside for ball 1, so 1 ball, no strikes here in the top of the 4th inning. Josh, my big thing here so far is Mitchell doing a great job of placing his pitches. This inning may be kind of those attributes and the things we just mentioned eluding him a little bit, but still able to hang in there. We'll see what he can do here in this inning. The pitch, ball called strike, low, little breaking ball, almost like a cutter, I guess. Not sure what that was. Maybe a changeup, cutter.
Yeah, his pitches are definitely moving. And, his longest outing of the season was that start against Hampton a couple of weeks ago, and he went 4 innings in that. Right now,
there's a ground ball to third.
Step and throw.
Step and throw. Can he get it? Double play. And that will get the Yellow Jackets. Zachary Allen with a great throw, and that will get the Freeport Yellow Jackets out of the inning and will not allow the Knoch Knights to tie this game up. So just like that, some defense backing up Matt Mitchell and keeping the score to 3 Freeport, 2 Knoch. So for Josh Schreckengoss, my name is Joe Rhodes, Sample Sports Stream. We will be right back. And welcome back to Freeport Community Park. Mowry back on the bump for Knoch, and at the dish is Jared Heilman, the left-handed swinging catcher today, at least. This ball will be grounded. Hard ball to second base. Great job there by Love to throw on to first to get the first out of the game, or the inning, excuse me. Trying to throw the ball around the horn here.
A little trouble right there.
The ball will escape into right field.
Sean McGill just trying to flip the ball right back there to Isaac Love. I don't know if Love was maybe kind of looking around, kind of reminiscing about the play he just made, but then threw the ball into right field there.
Again, folks, we have one view here. We tend to zoom in on the batter and the pitcher and sometimes get the infield. So whatever your view you would prefer, feel free to tweet us at Sample Sports ARM. Again, at Sample Sports ARM. To let us know what you think as far as our camera view. We have really one option, but we can zoom. We can zoom out.
We can make it tight.
If you'd like to see more of the batter pitcher, or you'd like to see the entire infield like we have for you right now,
I like the entire infield view.
I agree. And you get to see a little bit of why plays happen like they do without us having to call it. So at the plate is Grove for the Yellow Jackets. Matt Grove. He's hitless so far in his one at bat.
Yeah, Mowry still, working here into the fourth inning. Only at 42 pitches, Joe, so he is, doing what he needs to do for Coach Sean O'Donnell and the Knights. Talk about efficiency on the Freeport mound, Mowry's been pretty efficient himself.
Ball popped up to what will be right over second base, and it'll be pulled in by the second baseman.
Isaac Love making the play.
Isaac Love, who has been a part of our conversation today.
Yeah, just
the
made
number
a
3.
Slick play there, a previous batter.
So one out here in the bottom of the fourth inning.
2 outs here. Heilman started with that ground ball
That's correct. Sorry,
Love
I apologize.
picked. And a little pop-up right there. Josh Turdell coming to the plate here for Freeport.
Turdell. He is 0 for 1 so far today. Second at bat. So Freeport holding on to a 3-2 lead here in the bottom of the fourth. Ball high. That'll run the count to 1 ball, no strikes with 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth for the Yellow Jackets. Again, bottom of the fourth, Freeport able to score a run in the second, a run in the third, and here we sit in the fourth. Or excuse me, 1 in the first and 2 in the third. I was speaking of what Knoch was doing. Knoch able to score a run in the second and 1 in the third.
Yeah, good game, obviously. Tight,
Great game.
Not a lot of power shown. 1 ball really deep to the outfield, and here's a little pop-up by Turdell out to Braden Tristani, who has had an active game in right field for the Knights, but not able to get out of that inning unscathed.
So after 3.5,
4 full.
Oh, 4 full. Excuse me, Josh. Because we are at Freeport.
We are.
We know this. I could tell by the purple dugouts.
That's right.
So after 4 full, it is Freeport 3, Knoch 2 for Josh Schreckengost. My name is Joe Rose, Sample Sports Stream. We will be right back. And welcome back to fifth inning action at Freeport Community Park between the Freeport Yellow Jackets and the Knoch Knights. My name is Joe Rhodes. I'm joined by Josh Schreckengost. Josh, your early impression of this game?
I like it. It's kind of what we expected coming in, a hard-fought matchup by two teams that are very familiar with one another. Good pitching, a rough inning for Freeport there in the third. 4 errors committed by the Yellow Jackets in that inning, where Knoch was able to briefly take the lead in this game. So pitching, defense, tight game, pretty much everything we expected out of these two teams, Joe.
McGill looking at a strike at his first pitch from Mitchell to run the count to no balls, 1 strike. The second pitch, ball low, so 1-1 against the Knoch batter, Sean McGill.
Yeah, McGill's got a hit today off of Mitchell in his last at bat.
Here's the pitch for Mitchell. This ball will be ripped high and deep to left field. Camping under it is Stewart, and out is McGill for the first out of the top half of the 5th inning, Josh.
Yeah, Mitchell again able to produce a pop fly, not a hard hit ball. Nothing really lined off the bat of any of the Knights today against Mitchell. He's crafty, as Ed Carr said.
Crafty indeed. And you got to like what he's done, Josh. First pitch here, ball ground to third, throw on to first, hard throw, low, and that will scoot over. And that will allow the runner to get into second base, helmet falling off. So first pitch swinging was Eli Sutton of Knoch.
Yeah, and a ground ball right to Zach Allen, who fielded it cleanly, fired over to
Still
Kern.
a tough throw.
I mean, it's a tough throw, but it actually looked like it handcuffed Kern at first base. Maybe not his everyday position with Mitchell being on the hill. And that throw just kind of got inside of Kern. He was handcuffed by it. And another error by Freeport there. According to their scorers, that's their 5th of the afternoon, and that is uncharacteristic of the Yellow Jackets, that's for sure.
Now a runner on second base with no outs. Number 20 on second. 1 out. According to my color guy, Josh.
Yeah, we're not updating, but we do know that Mitchell got a fly ball there to start the 5th inning. Got an out here. Colton Stewart had it measured right in front of us. And
next pitch down the line, that will be foul. Nearly down the line. So almost testing the third baseman, Zach Allen. Again, see how much range he has right now is Knoch, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, Zach Allen getting a lot of work down there. I mean, again, these balls aren't hit overwhelmingly hard.
There's a strike three looking, and again, our equipment out here not updating. It's a game changer.
I don't know if it's maybe the dugout is having some issues with the update because...
We'll give them our Wi-Fi password. What do you say?
Sure thing.
Maybe they could use it out
If
here.
anybody wants to know, it's my social security number. I divulge that information freely.
So 1 out here. And a batter on second. Ball inside for ball 1. Nearly hitting the batter is Matt Mitchell. Yeah, and if you're Freeport and you're head coach Ed Carr, you have to like what you see from Mitchell. He's battling.
It's his longest outing of the season right now. I mean, he's got 4 2/3 in the book. And, he went 4 innings against Hampton in his only start prior to this game.
Ooh.
Got a foul ball there, I think.
No, I think they're going to say
Oh,
hit
they got
by
him?
pitch, and that hit the batter in the helmet,
That was
I believe.
Tristani. We've got the update here.
Tristani beamed by the pitch
Oh,
in the
man.
helmet.
That's the problem of not having a high-definition monitor right in front of us.
That
to be
is
able to-
indeed the limited resources that we have, Josh.
To see that, I thought he was getting down and that the ball ricocheted off his bat, but obviously the umpire, who was only mere feet away from it, was able to tell that Tristani was hit by that pitch. And now Guy DeLeonardis, my favorite dude.
Guy DeLeonardis up at the plate now with a runner on first and second and 2 outs. So a tough position for him. Maybe some 2-out thunder for Knoch here. Ball outside. Runners going.
Ball got away right there from Howman.
It did. It allowed the runner from second, which is
poor Caleb, whose name I don't want to mispronounce. I tried it earlier. He has the re-entry runner that has come in a couple times to
call a courtesy runner at this level.
Yeah, courtesy runner. That's what they call it in
High school
fast
baseball.
pitch softball. In the Shakura Men's League as well.
So now runners on the corner with 2 outs, and Matt Mitchell looking to get out of this jam in the top of the 5th inning. Longest outing, as Josh mentioned a moment ago.
Yeah, trying to get 5 full in here if he can get.
Ball grounded, and I don't know. That's
no one
just
there.
a tough position for Freeport as the the shortstop was covering second.
Yeah.
That ball was coming right to where the shortstop would have
It would have
been.
been an easy inning-ending ground ball right there. Hatalski running over to second base to cover down because Tristani was on the move for Knoch. And what do you get right there? Guy DeLeonardis perfectly placed, just little dribbler to the shortstop position. No other way to describe it. That's exactly where that ball was. If Hatalski had not moved to cover second, that's an inning-ending ground ball right there. Tough break for the Yellow Jackets.
Just like that, the game is tied at 3 runs apiece. And now Mitchell will face Roddy, looking to get that 3rd out for Freeport. Runner going. Cut off. Cut off by the second base. Maybe a good call there.
Yeah, Keppa's cut in front there. Again, Knoch trying to bait Freeport with the double steal. It worked earlier whenever Kepis was unable to corral the throw from Howman. Knoch was able to get a run on that particular play. They tried it again right there. Kepis able to cut in front, and Tristani stayed at third base.
Here's the pitch. It grounded the second. That will get under the glove of Kepis, and that will allow another Knoch run to score. Knoch runs to score. So now it's 5-3 Knoch. So I don't want to call it unraveling of the Freeport defense, but Josh.
Well, I mean, ouch. That's
unfortunate circumstances.
That terrible break right there for Hatalski as he went over to cover on the previous batter. Right there, a hard hit ground ball to the right side. Kepis sliding, trying to knock it down, keep it in the infield. It got under his glove, and DeLeonardis and Tristani able to come in and score right there on the ground ball. Base hit, 2-run single by Isaac Roddy. Knights take the lead, 5-3 here in the top of the 5th. Mitchell's still in. It looks like Freeport head coach Ed Carr is going to allow his starter to try and get out of this 5th inning.
The pitch for Mitchell. Low and outside. Runner will go. And the ball nearly escaping into center field, but stopped.
Yeah, steal there for Isaac Roddy. The Knights maybe sensing a little vulnerability here from the Yellow Jackets, trying to take advantage on the move. And right now, Freeport just needs one more out to get out of this inning. And trying to get Matt Mitchell through the 5th here and get back into the dugout, try and get those runs back.
Called strike there for the right-handed throwing Mitchell run the count to 1-1 with 2 outs here, as Josh mentioned a moment ago.
Yeah, it's a tough break. You just keep going back to that ground ball that was right at where Hatalski had been standing.
Here's a ground ball to third, not able to be scooped up. Throw not going to happen, so now we have runners on the corners with 2 outs. So tough hops, tough bounces, and, Knoch staying alive here because of those, Josh.
Boy, the field, has played a role. I mean, that's 5 errors now for the Yellow Jackets. A couple of them, borderline, but also a couple of them, fundamental plays that I'm sure Ed Carr believes his team not only is capable of making, but certainly should be making, in this situation. Right now, Mitchell, just trying to get out of this 5th inning. The Knights, Ethan Sloan at the plate, leadoff batter. There's a rip into left field right at Colton Stewart. So the Freeport Yellow Jackets are able to get out of a tough 5th inning right there. Knoch able to put 3 on the board, retake the lead here going into the bottom of the 5th inning at Freeport Community Park. It's the Knoch Knights 3, Freeport Yellow Jackets, the Knoch Knights 5, Freeport Yellow Jackets 3. I'm Josh Schreckengost for Sample Sports Stream, samplesports.com. And you can check us out on Twitter at SampleSportsARM. And you can follow us in print or online at the Leader Times, as Joe and I make up the sports section there at the esteemed paper of record in Armstrong County, located in beautiful Katanning, Pennsylvania, my hometown. KHS Wildcats, class of 1996. We had a pretty darn good baseball program back there at Katanning. The Wildcats, led by Brad Hobaugh, whenever I was in high school, Joe. He is now an assistant coach for head coach Ed Morris at Armstrong High School. Brad Hobaugh, numerous section titles at Katanning. His father, Ed, played in the major leagues for the Washington Senators for a time. Also the head coach of the Wildcats.
To give a shout out to Brad Hobaugh here, one of the nicest guys you will meet.
Absolutely. Bad Brad, as I like to call him. He was the coach of the Wildcats when I was in high school. I never got to play for him, regretfully, because I quit baseball in a huff in the when I was 15, and it's 5-3 Knoch right now. Freeport coming to the plate. Dominic Kern leading off.
Yeah, Dominic Kern swinging and a miss there to Mowry, who has been dealing here. Seems like he's kind of settling in, Josh.
Well, he has, the last 2 innings, he has not allowed Freeport to score. And, as we go to the box score here, Mowry not in danger of eclipsing that 100-pitch pitch count at the moment, working here in the bottom of the 5th.
Second pitch going to be a little blooper here. First baseman has a chance at it, but that will not be a play he can make. Bartik kind of lunging to his right there and unable to get the out at first. The ball kind of glances off his glove, and there is a runner on for Freeport here, Josh, in the bottom of the 5th.
Looked like Bartek just kind of stabbed at that ball, and the stab came up empty as Kern's speed able to, make, it impossible for Bartek to pick that ball back up and then either get to the base or toss to Mowry, who was trying to sprint over to cover, but Kern able to get down the line there. Freeport leadoff runner on.
So down by 2 runs here, a 1-1 count on the next batter with Kern on first. That's Stewart at the plate for Freeport.
Yeah, Colton Stewart, he's had a nice game today.
Next pitch, even count. That'll run the count to 2 balls and 1 strike for Stewart.
Yeah, Stewart doubled. Also scored in his 1 at bat, his 2nd at bat of the day.
Next pitch, this is going to be brought out here to left center field. They're going to say it is a catch. Lunging catch.
Yeah, he's the guy. DeLeonardis out here. A diving catch in left field. And, that's a tough break right there for Colton Stewart. Seemed to make pretty good contact, just hung it up a little bit longer.
Hope that stayed in our camera angle for you folks. That was an excellent play by DeLeonardis.
Yeah, able to come in and make the diving catch. Held it up for the umpire, an out call.
Here's Satulski looking at the first pitch. Hard to see what the call was from here in center field. So just one down, runner on first base.
There's a ball low by Mowry.
So Mowry dealing at this point, Josh. It seems like he's really settled in here in an opposing field. A pitch looks like a ball, but give him credit. You know, he's kind of settled in since the early Freeport surge that gave him a run in the first inning and 2 in the third.
Yeah, Mowry trying to get out of another scoreless inning, or trying to put together another scoreless inning, I should say. We got Dominic Kern on first.
Joseph Satulski at the dish. So I believe a ball there. Balls thrown from the catcher, go over the pitcher's head. Luckily, the second baseman, shortstop converging, second baseman coming up with it and getting it back to Mowry. So here is Mowry with the throw. Satulski swinging and missing. That will give him a 3-1 count now.
Yeah, got the green light on 3-0 there and took a rip, but unable to come up with anything off of Mowry.
Certainly a patient at bat, Josh. And the pitch, ball outside. That'll walk Satulski, so they'll put runners on first and second here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and Freeport trailing Knoch 5-3.
Well, you know, here comes a mound visit. Going to go check on Mowry here. I believe he's only around the 60 pitch count mark. Well, 63 right now, Joe, for Mowry. So maybe just a little visit here. Hey, what are we going to do if you get a ground ball? What are we going to do if you get a ground ball? You know, kind of things like that.
Well, with that, we will take a quick break while they discuss things. For Josh Schreckengoss, my name is Joe Rhodes, Sample Sports Stream. Visit us online at samplesports.com.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine?
And welcome back. Mound visit over. Austin Kepis at the dish with 2 runners on. Ball fouled off by Kepis.
Yeah, Kepis took a nice cut there, ripped it straight back to the backstop, and that's usually a sign that a hitter has a pitcher measured. Let's see if Kepis can come up with a clutch hit here for the Yellow Jackets.
Mowry looks in, throw outside for the ball, so I'll run the count even to 1-1, Josh. And you can't underestimate the value of seeing a pitcher a couple times through the lineup, and looks like Knoch does have a pitcher. There's a ball again, warming up down the third baseline. They're now walking in. Jogging in were 2 players for Knoch warming up to maybe possibly spell Mowry, but he will continue to work here with 2 runners on and just 1 out. Ball fouled out of play by Kepis. What are you looking for?
No, I was looking for the ball down the right field line. I was going to see if it was going to hit one of those parked cars, because that's a danger zone. Once you get past where the bleachers are, there's a couple people sitting out there in folding chairs. But if you get a little further down the right field line, that is a danger zone for a ball to hit a car, and that's what I was watching. I was tracking that fly ball.
Mowry with the pitch. This ball's lined hard down the first base line. Great job by the first baseman, Bartek, and he will step on the bag and collect the out. They'll make 2 outs in the inning, but a advancement of the Freeport runners from first and second to now second to third, but 2 outs. So big spot here for Freeport to try to climb back into this game after falling behind 5-3 the last inning.
Well, Matt Mitchell has a couple of the RBIs here for Freeport in a big spot right now for the Freeport pitcher. I mean, a base hit right now possibly scores 2 runs and ties this game. And I mean, Mitchell would love nothing more than to help his own cause right now.
First pitch fouled off by Mitchell. Weakly down the third base line for an 0-ball, 1-strike count against number 24, Mowry. Ball again, bloop maybe down the first baseline. First baseman lunging play, unable to come up with it. And again, folks, I know you can't see that, but we're going to try to telegraph what's happening here for you. And
yeah, Bartek hustling down the right field line. Tall first baseman, unable to use those long strides. Just the ball dropped just out of the reach of his glove. Mitchell gets new life here. 0-2 count. It's a big spot right now for Freeport.
Might be the biggest spot of the game, Josh. And got runners, 2 runners in scoring position. And time called. I don't know if it's by Mitchell, I believe it was.
Step out, think about it, maybe take a look down at Coach Carr, get the signs one more time. You know, you like to do that sometimes as a batter in a pressure situation to clear your head.
Pitch, it's going to be blooped past the pitcher, and the ball secured. And that will do it. Mowry able to bring it in there. That will do it for the bottom of the 5th. For the Freeport Yellow Jackets, threat averted for Knoch. So after 5 innings, it is Knoch 5, Freeport 3 for Josh Schreckengast. My name is Joe Rhodes, Sample Sports Stream. We will be right back. Welcome back here to Freeport Community Park for this rivalry game between what were section foes, but now just a non-conference affair here at Freeport Community Park between the Knoch Knights and Freeport Yellow Jacks. First pitch swinging is Love. He'll line it into left field for a no-out single. So a great leadoff single there by Love, putting the pressure on the Yellow Jackets and Matt Mitchell.
Yeah, Matt Mitchell at 82 pitches coming into this 6th inning, so pretty much guarantee that this is going to be his last inning of work here. I mean, it's possible we could get a double play on this pitch right now, but Mitchell, you know, nearing that 100-pitch mark. Right now, Sean McGill at the plate. He's got a hit today.
So McGill looks at the first pitch as a ball high for 1 ball, no strike count. We want to thank all the folks out there listening to our broadcast today of this awesome rivalry matchup between the Knoch Knights and Freeport Yellow Jackets here at Freeport Community Park, right by Lobby Hall. Throw down to second on the steal and not in time. The runner going to go to third on the loose ball. It's going to be held. So now a runner on third base, Josh.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Ed Carr right now, you're talking to yourself. You got to be so frustrated with the defensive effort that your team is giving. I mean, that is going to be scored in error, and rightfully so. That will be 7 on the Yellow Jackets, according to the the Gamecast here on Game Changer. I mean, a lot of miscues by the Yellow Jackets. That's why they're down right now, Joe.
So 1 ball, no count by McGill. He's going to line this ball into center field. That will score the runner and give Knoch now a 5-3 lead, or excuse me, 6-3 lead after the single by McGill.
Yeah, this might be it for Heilman. Ed Carr walking out.
Mitchell.
Oh, excuse me, Mitchell.
So now 6-3.
I've seen Heilman pitch 3 times this year, so he's kind of in my
we've
head.
seen a lot of Heilman, and I'm
Yeah.
sure if you're Freeport right now, you'd love Heilman pitching this game.
Well, he only threw 74 against Valley in a complete game shutout on Monday, so that means that I believe he's still able to pitch. Now, Carr,
Are you going to take him out of that catcher equipment, though, is the question.
I don't believe so. He's standing there, and it looks like Dominic Kern. No, Carr just calling the infield in. Comes some switching.
Some glove switching. That's the thing you'll see. High school baseball is a beautiful thing, Josh, where guys will move around the diamond. They need new gloves, whether you're at first, infield, outfield. So
Yep.
guys exchanging gloves, and we will wait to see who Ed Carr decides to bring into this game, Josh.
Well, Mitchell got the first baseman's mitt on, so I believe he's heading back over there.
1 on and no outs here in the top of the 6th inning.
Yeah, 6-3 Knights. You know, they've been able to take advantage of those 7 errors by Freeport that we've mentioned to score 4 runs in the last 2 innings so far, 3 in the 5th, 1 so far here in the 6th, Joe.
Looks like someone's warming up. It's a single-digit number, I believe number 8 for the Freeport Yellow Jackets roster. Once everybody gets placed, as we mentioned a moment ago, you know, guys moving all around the diamond. Mitchell moving to first, as Josh mentioned a moment ago. It's just a wait-and-see process to see who goes where. And
Joseph Hatalski on the mound, moving in from short to take over the pitching duties.
so Atalski, previously playing short, will now move to the mound for the Yellow Jackets here in this 6-3 game.
Shane Volek into the game to play second base here. And replacing Hatalski at shortstop.
And let me give a little shout out here quickly to Freeport Community Park. I see a soccer game going on to our right. There's a softball game going on behind us here. So
The undefeated Yellow Jackets down there.
that is correct. The Freeport Lady Yellow Jackets off to an undefeated start, and not just section play, but overall. And a beautiful facility here, Josh. Sometimes windy because we're up on a hill here,
Yep.
but nonetheless, it's a gorgeous venue for the events that we are fortunate enough to cover.
And right down over the hill here from Community Park, we got Lobby Hall coming up in the Armstrong County Sports Hall of Fame banquet here in a couple weekends.
I'm looking forward to that one, Josh. Always an exciting time for us here at the Leader Times. Here's the first pitch. Ball low from Atalski to Sutton.
McGill's going to take second base right there.
And Atalski was at short. Now I'm looking at number 11 will replace
Zachary
him.
Allen.
Allen.
Moved from third to short. And now we've got Braden Clark in the game at third base for Freeport. So some shuffling of the infield by Ed Carr.
The pitch from Atalski. Ball line deep to center field. Number 10 will camp under it. And the out, he'll throw it in quickly. And just like that, Freeport able to get the first out of the inning.
Yeah, Hatalski able to induce a fly ball there out to Evan McCrae here in center field. Easy play for McCrae.
And the fortunate thing for Freeport here, Josh, is McGill stays at second. He was not able to advance to third on that play.
And they need to keep him there, Joe. They're down 3 right now here. Game getting late.
Throw down, safe. So our first opportunity to see young Joseph Hatalski on the mound. Great name, great first name. Coming from one Joseph to another. Called strike, low and outside. Great pitch, great spot for Hatalski. Will be interesting to see how the Yellow Jackets maneuver their pitching staff from this point. Natalski low, ball escaping, throw down to third.
Ooh.
They're going to say he was safe, just beating the tag of third baseman Clark.
Yeah.
Or no, they're going to say he was out.
Wow. I mean, one umpire made the base umpire.
So 2 different calls there, Josh. Clark Clark able to apply the tag to get the advancing runner. So just like that, Freeport able to get its first out of the inning to help Natalski out. Natalski with the pitch outside, outside, called strike. Sorry, Josh.
Yeah, no, Heilman fired that ball down there. The throw beat McGill by a good 3 steps, and I thought Clark was able to get the tag down, initial call.
And strike 3 called looking just like that. So Freeport able to escape this tough inning, and a great move by Freeport there, making a pitching move, and that will allow Freeport to hold on to just a 3-run deficit. So after 5 innings, it is Knoch 6, Freeport 3. For Josh Reckengoss, my name is Joe Rhodes. Sample Sports Stream. We will be right back. Test. Not to cut that commercial break short, but we're already back here with Zach Allen at the dish for Freeport, looking to try to cut into the 6-3 Knoch lead here in the top of the bottom of the 6th inning. So an inning and a half left here in this contest. Freeport trying to make up those 3 runs given up just a bit ago, and Zachary Allen trying to lead the Yellow Jackets off.
Mallory got the way outside corner right there on Allen.
Way outside corner.
I mean,
we have yet to criticize Blue, but that one looked a little outside, Josh. Far outside on the right-hander.
Kind of started to criticize the base umpire there before the.
Here's a strike, and that ball will glance off the glove of the second baseman. He has no chance to get that, and Allen will get to first. So Freeport in an advantageous position here, Josh, with a runner on first base. Allen, that is. Zachary Allen. And no outs.
Yeah, Allen, hard hit ball, and I'm sure Ed Carr said, look, guys, look what happens when you hit the ball down and hard on this field. There's going to be hops.
I believe this brings Jared Heilman to the dish.
Yep, Heilman up right now, but Isaac Love took a tough hop there.
Where's Heilman on the where's he playing today, Josh? Catcher, of course.
He is behind the dish.
So here's a ball, ground to the first, throw to second, out. That's all they'll get. So great job by the Knoch first baseman there.
Bartek.
Yeah, Bartek to gather that throw, get it to second to get the lead runner, but unable to turn 2. So 1 out and 1 on. Heilman at first for the Freeport Yellow Jackets here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah, Matt Grove coming to the plate, I believe. Going to have a courtesy runner here coming in for Heilman at first base. Looks like number 15, Braden King, in as a courtesy runner for Jared Heilman at first base. Matt Grove at the plate.
So Grove looking down the third base line for a sign. Heilman at first, as Josh mentioned. 1 out, 1 on here in the bottom of the 6th. Pitch.
Yeah, that's Braden King over there at first base, who came in to run for
excuse me,
Howman.
Josh.
Howman able to get on that fielder's choice.
First pitch will be an 0-ball 1 strike. Strike 2, I believe, called there. So
got it again.
Early hole here for Grove. Looking to help the Yellow Jackets dig out of this 6-3 disadvantage. Third pitch of the at-bat outside. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, Josh.
Yeah, Mowry's pitch count getting up there. He began this inning with 77 pitches. So his pitch count rising.
Here's the pitch, strike 3, no throw. Swing and a miss there by Grove.
Boy, that's a big out for Knoch and Mowry to get right there. Most important thing, Braden King does not move up at first base. Now 2 outs. Yellow Jackets are going to need to string a couple hits together here, Joe, if they're going to be able to dig out of this hole.
So Turdell coming to the dish for the Yellow Jackets. First pitch, strike. The ball dropping in there for Mowry.
And you can tell that Knoch head coach Sean O'Donnell told his starter, just go out there and throw strikes. We have a 3-run lead. Let your defense do the work behind you.
The next pitch, ball low. Run the count even to 1 ball, 1 strike against Turdell. Yellow Jackets doing a great job in the early innings to avoid damage, getting out of a couple jams, but as the game progressed, Knoch able to manufacture runs and build this 6-3 lead, Josh.
Yeah, capitalized on those errors, as we've mentioned a couple of times. 7 errors today for Freeport. That's got to be a season high.
Pitch fouled off. Run the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes against Turdell. Runner on and 1 out. Or excuse me, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. So a big spot for Turdell. Pitch. Ball's going to be lined up the middle.
Bad
hard hopped. Runners running into each other. They're going to call him out. Wow.
Love able to corral that ball. He crushed into Sean McGill, the shortstop right there. They ran into each other right at second base. Love able to hang on to it, get his foot down for the force out of King at second. Knights able to get out of that inning, hanging on to that 3-run lead, Joe.
So 6-3 do the Knoch Knights lead here going into the 7th inning. So for Josh Schreckengoss, my name is Joe Rhodes, Sample Sports Stream, with 1 inning left. We will be right back. Welcome back to Freeport Community Park here. First pitch coming from Josh, you'll have to help me.
Joseph Vitalski out there.
Vitalski.
He came in for Mitchell last inning as the Knights were able to tack on another run.
Vitalski with the second pitch of the at-bat. First ball called a ball. This one as well, so that will run the count to, or excuse me, first ball called a strike.
Yep.
So make the count even 1 ball, 1 strike. Patulski looking in the third pitch. So Freeport with some work to do here.
Ooh,
Ball
inside.
nearly hitting the batter.
Tristani. He's had a rough go of it in right field there a couple of times, but you know what? It ultimately hasn't hurt Knoch. They've only made 2 errors today. The story, obviously, Freeport's 7 miscues in the field.
Ball outside, called strike, I believe. So I'll run the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Freeport, if you're Freeport, you have to limit the damage here, Josh. Make sure there is no one. There's a strike 3 looking by Atulski. Great play. They'll throw it around the diamond. But if you're Freeport here, don't allow anything to cross because you have 3 runs to score here in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, I mean, crunch time. Obviously, 7th inning, you're down. Hatulski, a nice curveball there, freezing Tristani at the plate, getting that first out, all-important first out.
Patulski with the first pitch, ball.
I believe that's Guy DeLeonardis.
Guy DeLeonardis.
Another one of the great names here and featured in this game. We've got a couple of DeLeonardises, but only Guy has made it in.
Ball sky high behind
May
the
have
backstop.
a play.
Oh, and Heilman
Just
unable to come up with that ball.
I thought he might have a play there. It's really
sliding
tight.
attempt, Josh.
Yeah, it's really tight back there. That backstop, you know, we cover games at fields where the backstop's 30 feet from the plate. This
and
one,
somewhere it's much closer, Josh.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if, in Worthington, Katanning for the summer, we see the Stangs. That backstop is right on top of you. This one probably about 15 feet behind the plate.
DeLeonardis looking at this one, called strike. So
Hatulski working that curve in.
He is. A nice little late break on his pitch too, Josh.
Yeah, and he seems to have that, you know, that backdoor kind of curve, that inside corner figured out.
Hatulski next pitch, swinging, ball grounded. He's going to run to third, but decide not to because the tag is applied.
Yeah, Howman just slapped it on him right there. Nice pick by Howman behind the dish.
Credit to Hatulski here, off to a nice start in relief of
Matt Mitchell.
Yes.
Matt Mitchell had a decent start.
He did.
You know, the defense obviously hurt him. Mitchell, it was kind of like tie on against the Cubs the other day. Mitchell gave up 6 runs, only 1 of them earned. And, you know, that's the story right now, Joe.
Hatulski getting ahead in this count. No balls, 1 strike against Roddy.
Rowdy Isaac Roddy at the plate.
Second pitch. This
Ooh.
will be grounded, and it'll be to the
Tough.
second baseman. Throw over, but not in time. Great job by the first baseman to stop that ball. Mitchell over there now.
Yeah, Volek, I don't know. That's, you know, he's just into the game this past inning whenever Ed Carr reshuffled the infield when he made the pitching change to bring Hatulski in for Matt Mitchell. Don't know if Volek, I mean, that ball was up the middle, directly up the middle, but, you know, slow rolling, not hard hit. Volek able to get over there, just not able to get the throw off in time.
Mitchell with a great scoop there at first.
Yeah,
to
good pick by him.
Prevent the runner from going to second. So now Hatulski will have 2 outs and a runner on first base. He's in the stretch.
Yeah, it's important over there at first to pick that ball. We saw a couple of balls go into the dugout whenever Freeport played Burrell last week, Joe. And it led to a run for Freeport and almost led to a run for Burrell in that game.
First pitch, a ball to Volts. Or excuse me, Phillips.
Yeah, I think they made a substitution there. Volts, that was his spot in the order. Right now we have Phillips at the dish, getting his first at bat of the day.
So Phillips will stand in against Gavin Phillips will stand in against
Joseph Hatulski missing low right there.
Joseph Hatulski, the reliever in relief of Matt Mitchell, Josh. He'll look into the catcher, Jared Heilman. And the pitch. Not swinging, that's a ball, and that'll walk at the batter. So now runners on first and second, Josh, with 2 outs. So big for Freeport not to give up too much here in the top of the 7th, already down 3 runs. So if you're trying to manufacture runs and get back into this contest, Josh, you have to do a great job, a superb job, if you ask me, to limit runs in this half inning.
Yeah, for sure. One thing that Phillips did right there was he was able to draw that walk and turn the lineup over, Ethan Sloan, the leadoff batter for Knoch, up for his 4th at-bat of the day.
First pitch ball.
He's got to walk. That's
Second pitch. It'll be lined
Nice
to the
play
first
by-
baseman.
Oh, it got past him.
It got past him, though. That'll go into right field. That will score one more Knoch run. Runners will stop at second and third, and Knoch, unfortunately for the Yellow Jackets, will add another run to their total, making this contest.
When Mitchell went down for that ball, I thought he had made the play, and I was watching him come up to see him try and toss over to Hatalski covering, and he got up, the head was down, and then I noticed the ball going into right field. So a tough break again off this infield for Freeport, 7-3 Knoch.
7-3 indeed, Josh, here. And first pitch swinging. It's going to be lined down the first base line, dropping in the foul territory before Mitchell could get to it for Freeport. So the inning will stay alive.
And right now, Knoch can put the dagger in a base hit right now. I mean, it's already going to be extremely tough for Freeport to now score 4 runs in the bottom half of the 7th inning. But a base knock right here by Isaac Love at the plate. I mean, you're looking at maybe a knockout punch, Joe.
I agree. The runner's in scoring position for Love here with the 0-1 strike count. He's going to line this ball down the third base line into the Freeport dugout to run the count to no balls and 2 strikes against the aforementioned Love.
Not sure who's keeping the book down there in the Freeport dugout. One of the assistant coaches had to jump out of the way of that hard chopping ground ball off the bat of Love.
So no balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Hatalski. Swinging line drive out here to center field, and coming forward is McCray, and that will end the Knoch threat. So after 6.5, it is Knoch 7, Freeport 3 for Josh Reckengoss. My name is Joe Rhodes, Sample Sports Stream. We will be right back. And welcome back to the bottom of the 7th inning here at Freeport Community Park. Freeport's last chance to climb back in this game, down 7-3. First pitch called, I believe, ball.
Braden Clark up, getting his first at bat. Mowry for Knoch entering this inning with 86 pitches thrown.
Ball line, pop up, no man's land. There, as we said, diving catch by the center fielder, and out. That's Sloan with a diving grab, and he will be right on your camera, your view there, folks.
Yeah, that
great play by Sloan.
Yeah, Sloan took a hard break in, and he seemed like he knew where it was all along, and then he kind of pulled up and realized, oh boy, I better lay out for this, and able to make the play off the bat of Clark.
Mowry in the midst of a complete game here. First pitch fouled off, strike 1 to Clark.
No, that was Clark that was just up. I believe that is Joseph Hatalski if Game Changer has updated the lineup properly. I'm not exactly sure. No, I don't think it is Hatalski.
Second
It's
pitch
Colton Stewart. We've got
Stewart.
Colton Stewart up there.
with a ball for the second pitch, so run the count even to 1-1.
Stewart doubled earlier, scored a run here for Freeport, one of their 3 on the day.
A pitch from Mowry. High fly ball. That'll be out of play behind the backstop near the Knoch dugout. Run the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, Freeport quick out here. You got to make Mowry work, try and get him out of the game right now.
And a breaking ball, not expecting that, was Stewart. And that'll be strike 3, so that will retire Stewart and bring it to the last out. 1 out remaining for Freeport.
We're going to have a pinch hitter, I believe. He's talking to the umpire.
Hard to see from our distance again, folks. We are not AT&T Sports. We're certainly not ESPN, as we've said in previous broadcasts, but really a difficult spot.
It would be
here.
nice to have a telescope. Maybe a pair of high-power binoculars.
I brought that up last broadcast. You tried telling me needed a periscope.
A periscope, a telescope, some kind of scope.
The pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 1.
That's Braden King. He came in as a courtesy runner last inning. He's going to get in at bat here. Last out for the Yellow Jackets.
King possibly the last hope for Freeport. Next pitch, ball low in the dirt. So run the count even to 1-1 for King.
Yep. I mean, always the worst feeling being up there. Your team's down and trying to keep that alive. It's a lot of stress. There's a base hit. I thought. Nope.
Line out to second, and that will do it. So a threat in the middle innings, or a successful threat, Josh. I guess a threat is something that is empty, but those middle innings there. When was it, Josh? There you were just pointing it out.
Yeah, the 5th, 6th, and 7th right there is where Knoch put the game away. I mean, we're tied 3. Freeport actually holding a 3-2 lead after 3 innings of play, and unable to score again in the contest. Knoch scoring 5 runs over the last 3 innings. As I said, 3 in the 5th. Kind of, the big blow for the Knights to take this non-conference exhibition game here at Freeport today.
We talked about those errors, Josh. I think that's what this game ultimately came down to, because over that stretch you just mentioned, that's when the Knights were able to really get back in this game, able to manufacture runs and really pull ahead from the Yellow Jackets and kind of run away and hide. And so with that, I mean, those will be the glaring moments. I'm sure the things that Ed Carr will look back and watch film on and see what his guys did wrong. But from my vantage point, Josh, it looked like a couple very difficult hops.
Yeah, bad hops.
It's tough to call errors on those. I'm here and I'm going to believe Freeport's book, because that's what we are following as we cover this game. But some very difficult bounces, some tough hops, and that will prove to be what took the Yellow Jackets down in this non-section, but still a rivalry matchup between themselves and the Knoch Knights, Josh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you look at the box score right now, only two of Knoch's runs that they scored today were earned runs, and that's the story of the game. I mean, that's just, as you pointed out right there, some tough hops. This surface, as we alluded to, not that pristine field turf that a lot of our other schools play on in the infield. This is all natural here.
No
at
names
Community.
mentioned there, Josh.
No names mentioned at all. There are certain teams that play with that turf infield and a grass outfield, mind you, but this is an all-natural surface here at Community Park. And as you saw today, I mean, tough hops for both teams, but I think Freeport, and I'm sure Ed Carr will tell you this, they made some errors today on routine plays that they make 9 times out of 10, and that was the story of the defeat here for the Yellow Jackets this afternoon. 7-3 Knoch with the take.
As you see Ed Carr talking to his young group over there down the third base line, discussing today's contest. And Josh, you pretty much covered everything there is to cover there in the last statement you had. A tough loss. It is a tough loss. You battle with Knoch there. You were hanging in there against a team that, as you mentioned way earlier in our conversation, was a barrier between you and an even more successful season than the Yellow Jackets had last year, despite making the playoffs. So a game I'm sure they wanted to have just to kind of show these guys from Knoch that they were up to the challenge and capable of playing in this contest, but Knoch able to manufacture runs and get those maybe bloop hits. There were a couple bloop hits I kind of remember from this call, Josh, that proved to be the difference. You'll have to excuse me, I'm getting a call here, but
It's probably a fan, Joe.
probably, let's hope.
Hey, Joe, let's tell the people out there before we wrap this game up where we will be broadcasting next.
We will be broadcasting at West Shamokin Junior Senior
Can't
High
wait.
School. Can't wait for a broadcast, or excuse me, I'm sorry, we will be at Armstrong Junior Senior High School on Friday for a matchup between the Armstrong Riverhawks and the Karn City Gremlins.
Can't wait
So,
for that either.
An all Armstrong County matchup between two teams that never really get to see each other except that early season football.
Yeah, the week
game
zero. They've been doing the week zero game, Armstrong and Karn City.
which we both can appreciate. It's a great game for both programs to kind of usher in the football season and also provide an all Armstrong County matchup. That being from the Gremlins and the Riverhawks. We're excited to do that game on Friday, and we'll be out at West Shamokin next week. So make sure you guys are tuning in to the Leader Times every day, as well as Sample Sports Stream, to catch where we will be next. But in the meantime, again, to be looking at our paper and seeing the recaps and future schedules of all the games going on here in Armstrong County. So we will leave you with that. Josh, any parting notes that you think are something to mention about this game?
Well, this game, I mean, Ed Carr takes pride in scheduling tough teams for his exhibition season, and he did that on purpose because of that big junior class, the young guys that are getting their first real taste of varsity action right now. And guess what? You're going to have games where you beat a 5A school like Hampton in dramatic fashion, the way that the Yellow Jackets did a couple of weeks ago, and you're going to have games like this where you drop a tough game with a lot of mental mistakes to a rival. So it's a learning experience. That's my big takeaway for the Yellow Jackets.
I would have to agree with you, Josh. And certainly maybe a moment that the Yellow Jackets needed to maybe grow from here. They've won some games maybe they shouldn't have or people didn't expect them to. And today they were tested by a good program and fell. So maybe that's something that they will build off of.
Yeah, Knoch now 6-1 on the season. Freeport dropping to 5-4, but still a great record in section play. I believe they're 3-1 in section play. So right in the thick of things in section play for the Yellow Jackets. Overall, a great day for baseball out here at Community Park, Joe, and it was a pleasure to call it with you, brother.
Hey, the pleasure was all mine, Josh. And for yourself and me, Joe Rhodes, this is Sample Sports Stream for today's broadcast. And we can't forget the Leader Times, which we both are proudly employed by. For bringing this game to you and making this game possible. So for Josh Reckengoss, my name is Joe Rhodes, Sample Sports Stream. Thank you so much for today's broadcast between the Freeport Yellow Jackets and the Knoch Knights. We will catch you next time on Friday for a game between the Armstrong Riverhawks and the Karn City